What was the fellow named now? Herlick? No. Herlock? No. Herlock?
Herlock Sholmes by any chance? Nah, that would be too coincidental.
Yes, good lord!
Of course it is. Hello, ladies and gents. I am the Story-Driven Gamer, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are pressing on with the Great Ace Attorney Adventures. In the last episode, we continued on with Gina's trial, and so far, pretty much the whole episode, we were just interrogating. I don't know if that's the right word, but we have Ringo and Nash on the witness stand, and we're getting, so they're testifying for us. I think. Let me see if I can get them right. Ringo is the short one, and Nash is the tall one, right? I would get them confused. But yeah, the whole trial is basically us just, trying to get them to confess that they were the ones who shot Windibanks. And it really does seem that way. But, well, I'll get to that in a moment, what my thoughts are on that. But, so yeah, in the last episode, everything went very swell. Nothing went wrong. We just breezed on through. I wish that were true, but nah, I blundered a bit at the very start. Luckily, I like to think I redeemed myself a bit later on, because I felt like I was much more on the ball, and I got everything right, and there was even one more, set bit of testimony that I figured out, so the rest of the trial went smoothly. It was just that initial testimony that, for whatever reason, got to me. Like, I had to have spent, like, after pressing them on all the points, and and uncovering those two new pieces of testimony that we needed to, present the picture to. From then on, it had to have taken me like no less than 30 minutes figuring out what to do there, and I honestly don't have a good excuse why that stumped me. Like, even when I stumbled upon the right answer, which luckily I didn't have to resort to guessing, I was this close to, like, I'm just gonna, like, guess everything, or at least all the relevant pieces of evidence. But luckily I didn't have to resort to that. Even when when I came to the right conclusion, I was like, that should have come to me much sooner. It was, I don't want to say it was obvious, but it definitely made sense what I was supposed to do. And I knew what I was supposed to prove early on too. Like, I knew that Gina, I was supposed to prove that Windibanks had the gun. That Gina had the gun and Windibanks didn't have the gun on him, so he couldn't have, shot at, at the two thieves or whatever we're trying to prove. But unfortunately, that's not, I couldn't come to the right conclusion. Even when I presented the picture that showed Gina had the gun, that wasn't enough. I had to kind of go a little bit further with the chronology and show that, that he didn't have the gun, when the murder was taking place. So, which that's what the picture did. It literally showed him there without the gun. The gun would have been in his hand or on him, obviously if he had the gun at the time of the murder. Seemed pretty obvious, but it just was not clicking with me. Like, I think the last 10 or 15 minutes that I was stuck on that, I went silent, which is that's like the majority of what I had to cut out of my video, because I'm just like, okay, I gotta focus. I just sat there, just like really trying to figure this out. I eventually got it. Like I said, I didn't have to resort to guessing, but I got it. But even my build up to that, I kind of was like, oh, let me try this. I didn't even say a word, which is why there was no actual build up. I just kind of clicked on it, and I was almost shocked, like, oh my gosh, did I do it? But my reaction, I was so defeated by that point. I was like, oh my gosh, was that really it? Okay, let's move on, So, sorry if that was a bit frustrating. If you're like, oh, come on, Mike, it's not that hard, but I apologize for that. But like I said, everything else went smoothly. We discovered that how the murder took place, or most likely took place, which was that it did take place in the storeroom, but he was shot outside the storeroom. So we uncovered that he had come out of the storeroom. We probably heard the thieves coming in. There was a kerfuffle, which is how the books got knocked off of Windibank's desks in the first place. Then when he went, my guess is that he might have been disarmed. We didn't get that far yet. But either way, Windibanks ran back into the storeroom, and the two thieves shot after him, and and then so he fell in the storeroom, and then Gina would have been the one who locked it, because she heard somebody shooting at them, literally. So she would have locked the door to protect herself. Which all pans out. It makes sense. And everything was going in our favor. Even the jury seemed to be on our side. But then Van Zykes brought up the bullet contradiction. Which is that if that was how it happened, they only shot one bullet. And we know that was shot at Sholmes. So how could how could the thieves have shot at Windibanks and then shot at Sholmes later? And the evidence shows that only one gun was shot, or one bullet was shot. My theory is that maybe they, going back to, them disarming Windibanks, maybe that happened, and they used Windibanks' gun to shoot at him. And then, maybe they put the gun down or whatever. Or I had said maybe they threw it in the slot in the storeroom. I don't know how it would have gotten back into the storeroom. That's the part I'm a bit iffy on. But then maybe they shot Sholmes with their own gun. I don't know. Still confusing, but but then that contradiction with the bullets was enough to turn the jury all against us, which is where we landed ourselves now. Now they have all voted guilty, and we have to do another summation examination, which is what we're about to do. And we'll try and turn this jury back into our favor. So let's continue. The jurors' contentions. What's a rogue? Always a rogue, I say. Different breed to us law-abiding citizens. As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. You don't need a stereoscope to see the truth here. Every which way you look at it, it was that pickpocket.
I never imagined that simple operation would cause me such grief. The accused attempted a theft on the previous day. I can see I'm in for a busy day ahead. I am ballistics expert. I have seen many shootings. There is nothing I do not know about guns.
Okay. So, we know how this goes. We have to pin them against each other.
It would seem there is little remaining room for doubt. Have to admit I was rather bowled over by the argument put forward by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked.
No hoodwinking here.
Well, no more.
The whole courtroom is turning against me. It's not fair. Iris? That prosecutor's being mean. Big fat meanie. Just because Ginny's done some things she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Ah, yes. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out. Eventually. Eventually.
That's enough preamble. Counsel, proceed with the summation examination.
Slap-a-pow! Slap those cheeks, Ryunosuke. Yes, my lord. Jury, examination. Oh, that's it, yeah. The defense's rebuttal. Okay. I only have 2... whatchamacallits left, 2 bits of health left. Once a rogue, always a rogue, I say. Different breed towards law-abiding citizens. Let's see if there's anything that stands out right away that I want to press. As only 2 bullets were found in the scene. Let's press on this.
Hold it!
It's the number of bullets that has you convinced. Only 2 bullets were fired, and the 2 guns that fired them have been examined by the police. When the parlor maid asks me how many are invited for dinner, I always tell her to count the table settings. Well, that's logical, I suppose. And irrelevant. Although, yes? Sometimes after dining, crockery does go missing. 1 or 2 guests, rather like the fine china. Does your employer dine with thieves? Oh yes, quite often. So I suppose, if there was another bullet somewhere of which we were unaware, I'd have to reconsider my position. A 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene? Could that be possible? I don't think I can prove that. I'm gonna say no for now. Maybe we have to uncover some testimony or something. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Duh. Right. And I don't imagine the good men of Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything. If I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office, well, I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. He would rip my head off and place it on his mantle. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps. It sounds like a crime scene to me. A 3rd bullet? It would completely turn things around if there was one, wouldn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere? Don't think so. Not likely. Yeah, let me press him on this. Would you please stop muttering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here.
Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that it has nothing to do with this trial, to be honest.
Huh? Come again?
I mean, there's no question that the man was shot, but the bullet has simply vanished from his stomach. That's quite inexplicable, don't you think?
Come again? So could he have been shot twice? I almost don't want to ask, but this surgery you've been muttering about all this time? You were operating on... I think I said this the first summation examination, that probably Sholmes. I guess they didn't, say that.
What was the fellow named now? Herlick? No. Herlock? No. Herlock?
Herlock Sholmes, by any chance? Nah, that would be too coincidental.
Yes, good lord!
Oh, of course it is. I had a feeling.
It was that Herlock fellow.
What? You're the surgeon that operated on Mr. Sholmes?
That's right. Using the very latest anesthesia techniques, I might add. It was a fairly major op, I can tell you.
This is crazy.
Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long ago, after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal or other, so I opened him up like a shot. But the funny thing is, I went over his insides with a fine-tooth comb, and couldn't find the bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I have to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up.
Okay. I hate to state the obvious, but...
Yes?
Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting? The counsel for the defense is correct. As is clearly shown in this photographic print, the bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region. Oh, we're gonna find evidence. Ooh, are we gonna find evidence that, like, he's gonna say, no, there should have been another bullet or something? Then exited his body and lodged into the shot wall where the calendar was hanging by the door. I think we'll find it's really quite simple if you just consider the problem 3-dimensionally.
Ha! Who do you think I am, son?
Well, juror number 4 is about the best I can do.
As soon as I saw the wound on the man's stomach, I flipped him over.
Like a pancake? Oh, is he gonna say that there was no exit wound? Are you saying you checked its back?
Of course I did, and there wasn't a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet had left the body at all.
Aha. What? There we go.
That's the point. The only logical conclusion was that the bullet was still somewhere in the man's innards. Which is exactly why I said about slicing him up. And I'm still none the wiser even now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can somebody please solve the mystery?
It's almost as much of a mystery as how this jury was put together. Yeah. What are the odds? Okay, the mystery where that bullet ended up is infuriating. Where's an expert when you need one? Now, the thing is, I can't necessarily prove that there was a... Is that enough to prove that there was a 3rd bullet? I mean, I guess so, right? I don't know if I should press him on this now.
Hold it!
Okay, just gonna skip through this. See, here's the thing, like, the way they're wording it, a 3rd bullet somewhere on the scene, could that be possible? I can prove it? I can't prove it. Like, I don't have the 3rd bullet. I'm gonna give it a shot. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet. Oh, shoot. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's what I was afraid. I don't have the third bullet. Do I have anything that could even point to the third bullet? Yeah, I have nothing that actually points to the third bullet, right? I just reloaded the game because before even guessing, I knew I didn't have it. So I'm just like, instead of getting it wrong when I know I don't have the evidence, I'll just go back. Okay, so we need to find specific evidence about the third bullet. I should really just press everyone. What do you mean you're in for a busy day?
Forgot to say, stop. Do excuse me, stop. I am a communications officer, stop.
A communications officer? Did that have something to do with sending telegrams?
Everything from personal messages written by members of the police to the public news in the capital. I convert all the messages into Morse code and tap it out to the entire world electronically.
To the entire world?
Thousands of miles of cable under the sea, stop. Worldwide communication network, stop. Information transmitted to and from all corners of globe, stop.
Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about the radio waves or the like before, wasn't she?
I specialize in communicating information from the government departments and newspaper offices.
I see.
I'm sure I shall have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So, no sleep for me tonight, I imagine.
Let's just finish the trial first, shall we? Okay, that didn't seem relevant at all. Okay, this actually could be useful. I thought you were just a tourist.
My bad.
Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I would like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way he's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistic expert? Who knew?
I have much experience with guns.
Ah.
I have lived through many. How do you say, extreme, violent bath of, no. Blood of,
I'm assuming you're trying to go for bloodbath?
Ah, extreme violent bloodbath, perhaps? Da, those extreme violent bloodbaths. They blew up. Blood everywhere, just like I'm about to do to this little mouse here. English is a very difficult tongue.
Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue.
Me too. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve.
He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure.
But, if possible, please, only in the Russian language.
That's not happening.
He's not very confident in his knowledge of English, though, is he?
No. Still, we should bear it in mind. He's our man if there's a mystery about guns or bullets. Van Zykes had managed to convince everyone.
When you have eliminated the impossible, he said. But he hasn't.
If we're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back. We have to turn this trial around again. Okay, let's just press everyone I haven't pressed so far. Just because Miss Lestrade has a history of pickpocketing, she must be guilty of murder. Is that what you're saying?
Well,
yes. Are all members of the British Army so quick to judge?
I beg your pardon? Are you mocking Her Majesty's Armed Forces? The greatest military organization in the world?
No, I'm simply illustrating my point. Making assumptions about people because they're a soldier or a pickpocket is wrong and dangerous. You tell him, Ryunosuke.
Huh. Well, yes, might have a point there, I suppose. Let's not forget the girl had already shown she had it in her from before. She's clearly a criminal sort through and through. Can't deny it.
When you say that she'd shown she had it in her, are you referring to this?
Exactly. Tried to swipe that only a day earlier, huh? Or am I mistaken?
Not exactly. Given that I was actually there at the time, it's hard to refute that.
I've never actually seen the real thing. I can't wait to get a closer look at it.
Oh yes, of course. That's right, she wasn't there. Mr. Solmes did use his camera boss to make a copy of the disc, didn't he? And then ordered every type of music box he could find from across Europe.
We still don't know what tune it plays though, do we?
but I'd love to see how the original compares to Hurley's copy. McGilded's disc. Could it be a clue somehow? Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Okay, I'm on it. I feel like we did. But is there a blood... I mean, we know there's a blood stain on it. There's no bullet on it, is there? I'm gonna try examining again. Oh, Runo, look! This is blood. Yes, you're right. Just a small smear, but definitely blood. Actually, I feel as though I might have noticed that before. Haha, there's my time to shine again! I thought I'd be waiting forever. Oh, she can do her little thingy. Alright, hold still with that disc, Runo! Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash! Okay, whose blood is it? Oh, that's Sholmes. Oh, a lovely bright shade again. Wait, that color. What is it? It's just that green. It's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? 4 samples of blood analyzed with a special chemical indicator developed by Mr. Sholmes. Different people's blood turns different colors. Okay, I think that's what we need. Where are you? It's this, right? Okay, so we don't... It's not confirmed that it's Sholmes, but it's gotta be. If this is... I mean, if they shot at Sholmes. But then again, there's a chance this isn't. This could be a different... If this is a different bullet than the one that shot Sholmes, maybe it's not Sholmes. Maybe this is a different incident. Maybe it was McGilded. I don't know. Maybe he was there that night. Intriguing. Okay.
Hold it!
So if I've understood correctly, you need 2 pictures. A left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly. Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions. Like this. So, if we have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always looks the same here. The only person who could have shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it. The Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, that's been mentioned once or twice. Well then, surely it's coming into focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. Okay. I pressed everybody else. I'm gonna press him one more time because now we have this new statement.
Hold it!
Mr. Sholmes, the surgeon, is on the jury. I've experienced some coincidences recently, but this is ridiculous. I mean, come on. Come on.
I'm as surprised as anyone.
But there's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot.
Well, that's what the police told me when they brought him in.
How bad were his injuries, Doctor?
He was in a bad way. He lost a huge amount of blood, you know. And I suppose he was shot at quite close range, too. Because his skin was badly burnt around the port of entry.
Burnt?
As I said, I flipped the fellow over and examined his back, but there was no sign of an exit wound. Which is why I thought I'd better locate the lug and pop it out.
And yet you say you found no bullet inside the patient?
Well, I wouldn't have done, would I? It's in the wall of the pawnbrokers. But how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery before it drives me to insanity. If only there were experts in ballistics who could help. Even if he looked extremely untrustworthy.
So we have a disappearing bullet on our hands. I pressed everyone. And now that's when I have to start pitting people against each other, I guess. We're supposed to pit people against each other, so are we supposed to pit... As only 2 bullets were found at the scene, I would say the whole case is done and dusted. Maybe I have to pit them against each other? Oh, wait. Where's an expert when you need one? So do I have to... I'm just thinking here. I don't know if we'd be pitting them against each other. It's kind of weird wording, but maybe I have to pit him against the other guy? Okay, I'm gonna try it. And I'm probably gonna get it wrong, because I always do. Because again, we're not really pitting them against each other, but...
Objection.
There we go. Those two statements clearly contradict the idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Oh.
Oh, a ballistics expert.
Pitting? P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Sholmes was shot by one of the Skulkin brothers. But since there was no sign of an exit wound on his back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Sholmes' body either. Furthermore... See, that confused me, because it still said they're gonna pit them against each other. And I'm like, we're not pitting them against each other. So I had to make a gamble there. A bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shot where Mr. Sholmes was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Pleased to meet you. There's apparent contradiction in the fact that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I no understand what is going on. I have seen very similar situation in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away mountain road in freezing cold. Golly, do go on. What a fascinating story, my god. The snow was piling high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles, and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. I almost died. Then an angel came down from the sky to save me. And this situation was very similar to that I heard today from Doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound? Then where did the bullet go? Don't know. Bullet never hit me.
Well, if it never hit you, why did you fall down?
Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from lump of ice and pierced my body. It made deep wound that looks just like bullet wound.
Good gracious.
Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside of me. What? Melted inside of me. My bad. And that is solution to mystery of disappearing bullet. Interesting.
But that doesn't answer the question at all.
Yeah, because he's saying it grazed him and missed, but that's not what happened here. Huh?
The shooting happened in a pawnbroker's shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country.
That's not the point here, Doc. Just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno, where exactly was Hurley shot again? Well, according to the report, in his stomach. Sort of around this area, I think. Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I might have noticed something like that. Oh, is it in the pouch? Wait, they would have noticed that. Yes, a pouch. That's where he keeps 3 glass vials of very dangerous chemicals they uses in his investigations. Oh, lovely. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing?
Well, the fellow had nothing like that on his person when he arrived at the hospital, as far as I remember.
If I may, Lord Van Zykes, you haven't said anything for a while. That's what he usually doesn't during these.
While I realize it is forbidden for the prosecution to interject during summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom.
Sorry?
As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound. Oh, thank goodness! I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
You are, sir.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it has not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well. While extremely unconventional during a summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the item in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. Okay. I see. So, this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question, is it? Look at that. One of the files is broken, and the leather around it is scorched black. Oh. That's the powder, that's right. Close range. It's almost as if the file exploded. Exploded? So, that night, the bullet from the Skulkin brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch. And it was the glass file exploding that caused the fellow's injury. These bullets did not penetrate victim, but was deflected into wall of shop. Ah, okay. Interesting. Oh crap. A delightfully complex aroma. I love grape juice. Well, it would appear one mystery has been solved at least. Though it had no bearing on the truth of this case. Sorry? The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. You got me there.
But at least the mystery is solved. I can sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Glad I could help. So, not guilty? Ha! Good one. Due to its bearing on the conundrum just solved, the court will sequester this scruffy pouch as evidence. Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy. You're scruffy. Sholmes' pouch. The pouch Mr. Sholmes was wearing around the waist at the time of the shooting. One of the glass files is smashed, and there were scorch marks around it. Now, the summation examination. It would appear the defense is somewhat struggling to alter opinion, Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, that's a new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue. And you can't afford to overlook anything here, Ryunosuke. There's still a way to turn this around, somehow. I'm sure of it. Okay. We are going to take a look at it. This file has been smashed to pieces. Presumably, this is where the bullet struck. As soon as the bullet hit the chemical in that file, there would have been a really big explosion. A big explosion? Well, Hurley's potions and chemicals are amazingly useful for the investigation work he does. But they're also quite tricky to handle. Safely at least, they're very dangerous. Oh, that's not good. I'm sure that when this file broke, the chemical inside would have ignited. Note to self, always walk on the right-hand side of Sholmes in future. The left is the danger zone. Let's fight. Hopefully he won't, do that again. Carry these with him. These glass files are for Hurley's homemade potions. Homemade? Yes, like fingerprint powder to show it where people have touched things. A sound amplifying solution to intensify smell lingering on an object. Hey, those can be useful. I want those. That's amazing. They're all very easy to use. There's just one thing that you have to be careful of. They're all very flammable. Mr. Sholmes is a walking bomb. Either he's passionate about finding out the truth, or just oblivious to the dangers. Probably both. Okay. Now, I don't know, this is like the bullet wound entry point. It's really scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken, look! This must be where the bullet hit then. Let me see. Oh my god, is the bullet in there? Oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. What the? Iris, look! Behind where the broken file was. Do you see it? Oh, that's the Skulkin brothers' bullet! What a stroke of luck that it hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Winterbanks that night. We found exactly what the juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet! It's time to press that juror again, I think. There we go, now we know what to do. A projectile we discovered lodged in Mr. Sholmes' pouch It caused one of the files to explode, injuring Mr. Sholmes. Okay. Awesome sauce. I know exactly what we gotta do now. Okay, I can prove it now. Allow me to show you then the third bullet. It's right here.
Take that!
Here it is. We discovered it just now. What a stroke of luck, right? Right, guys? Yes, on the night in question in Winterbank's pawnbrokery, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
Am I even allowed to do that? What is this new trickery, you Nipponese conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? Although maybe I am. Maybe since it was part of another piece of evidence. It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? We really should look closely, shouldn't we? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to the hospital. The hospital. And since then, it has been touched by no one. Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin brothers that night? Yes. As your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch. But that makes no sense whatsoever. So the green blood is not Sholmes. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes. It's clearly visible in this photographic print. Ah! 2 guns from the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that of Mr. Winterbank and that belonging to the Skulkin brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet had been fired from each. Okay, so yeah, we did. That's been proven. So what that means is that there is a third gun, which could also incriminate a third party, which is what I've been saying might be the case, or maybe a third duo. Ah, but that must mean. That's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the guns recovered from the crime scene. Until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somehow explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Ah, you got me there. Ah, did you just shoot me? Order, order, order! While this summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter! What? Bailiff, bring the witnesses back to the stand at once. Oh boy. Hello again. Oh, Gregsy is here too. Hello, Gregsy. Witnesses? Governor? Were you listening to proceedings while the defense carried out the summation examination? Not really. We were playing patty cake. We was, Governor, we was. Perhaps you can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A third bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov? I don't make nothing of nothing if I can help it out. Is it one of yours? Go blimey, Gov. Go blimey. Not a... Oh wait, that's him, right? Go blimey, Gov. Go blimey. Not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? What? Never. The Skulkin brothers work alone. It's just the 2 of us. That's our trademark. How soon we forget poor Sulky. He's dead to us. Only 2 of the bullets from the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The third bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? It was taken away, probably by another party. Lumi, that's an head scratcher. Counsel for the defense? Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The third bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard, and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear what the third bullet tells us about the Skulkin brothers. Yeah, maybe it had nothing to do with them. I'm gonna go with that. Call me crazy. That's what I've been thinking. I believe it has nothing to do with them. Yeah?
Nash, that's right.
Yeah, nothing to do with us, Gov. We've established that one bullet was fired from each of the two guns already known to the court. The logical conclusion, therefore, is that on the night in question at Mr. Wenderbeck's pawnbrokery, there was another person present in possession of a third firearm. That would be my guess. Whilst the brothers may have had nothing to do with the third gun or the bullet fired from it, it's inconceivable that they had nothing to do with the third man. Yes. The brothers were working with an accomplice who was carrying a gun. Okay, so it went back. Okay, it circled back around. I guess it was the first choice, but I'll take it. Give me a moment to process this. An accomplice, you say? Pigs will. Pigs will. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has been not a murmur of a third man. If this apparently wraith-like being exists, the court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. Ah! The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence, that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of this spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But how can I ascertain the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel? I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice, and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is... Okay. So let's think. Let's think of people first. Maybe, if I had to take a guess, maybe Eggert Benedict. Oh, wait. I think I got it. Maybe? Let me think. Because we established that this disc has green blood on it. Oh no, but we don't know that the green blood is necessarily tied to Sholmes yet. Never mind. It might not even be tied to Sholmes. That might be a third person. I'm trying to think if we have anything that could incriminate Benedict though. Metal disc used to play music in a mechanical music box. The smear of blood on it turned green when analyzed. So we know the blood on this disc belongs to whoever's blood is on the wall, right? And we know that the wound, the calendar wound, is not Sholmes at this point. So this green blood belongs to the third party, probably. He's my main suspect. He's the one I'm suspecting most right now. I mean, who else could it be? It's not. Hopefully, we're not suggesting Gregson. I mean, they have been saying he's their third brother, right? Oh, could you imagine? This is like the big moment here. I'm not sure. But I'm assuming we're gonna go for it. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Nipponese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. Slap those cheeks. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel, I would ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, in the moment leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you that there was a third intruder present at the scene? Okay. I'm gonna go with... It would be the... I don't know if it's this or the blood samples. I'm gonna go with the blood samples.
Take that!
The evidence is right here, in this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers itself? Be more specific. You claim one of those blood samples proved the presence of the third intruder. Well, which one is it? I guess it would be this one? It's one of these.
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such like around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar. That's a bloodstain, my lord. A bloodstain? Why is it green? What is going on here? Green blood? Curious even for you. Is the court to understand that the intruder was some unhuman creature? An alien sent to kill us all? It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes. By the great detective! New invention, stop! Not yet appeared in stories, stop! It's this, you see? It doesn't have a name yet, though. This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts with the different elements in people's blood to change its color. Different elements? Of people's blood? I'm afraid I just don't understand. Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see? Because it's made up of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is. Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension to looking at blood. Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop! As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Winterbank. Ah, striking blue. Yes, so you see the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot in the main part of the shop. Now hold fire there, young man. Could it be from unrelated incident, couldn't it? No, it's not unrelated. Okay, do tell. The date showing on the calendar is the date on which Mr. Winterbank was killed. Ah, that's right, that too. By golly! Therefore, we can assume that whoever was shot on the same day. Then whose blood is it? Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else. The third intruder, in fact.
Objection!
I'm still not sure who it is. Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is this alleged third intruder? It's not Gregson, is it? I'm trying to remember. Okay, obviously it's you know, it's sometimes a while before recording things. What I'm trying to remember is when he took the disc from us. Yeah, when Gregson took the disc from us, that was during the initial incident when, you know, when Edgar Benedict was in the room and he was fighting with Gina. Didn't he take the disc then? And now the disc has blood on it. It's gotta be him. And they've been calling him his brother the whole time. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. It's Gregson, isn't it? Am I right? Please tell me I'm right. There can be no doubt. This is the shadowy accomplice the brothers have been trying so hard to protect.
Objection!
Oh, I think I might be wrong. Or lottery? Is that how you decide who's guilty? Huh? In that case, the name Ryunosuke Naruhodo should be added to the drawer. For being guilty of incompetence. I was so sure about that one. Rah! And I bet my lot would be drawn too. The identity of the accomplice is our trump card, Runo. Yes, I expect it is. At this point, we're the only ones who know the person's identity. But it's time to stun the courtroom now. Let's give everyone something to think about. Yes. Yes. It wouldn't be Mal Strongheart, would it? Because even the way she said it, like, it's time to... What did she just say? Like, it's time to, stun the courtroom. Would they be stunned about this guy? He's just a kind of a nobody. I'm gonna go with Edgar Benedict, right? Maybe? The man's name? Okay, I was right the first time. Dang it. The man's name is Edgar Benedict. Edgar Benedict? Who on earth are you talking about, counsel? He paid a visit to Winterbank's pawnbrokery on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing this article into her possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Edgar Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. Oh, that's right, he cut himself! Oh, that's right, okay. Oh, what did I give him? I gave him like a snooty accent.
Broker?
Yes, sir?
I believe this filthy pocket thief has just redeemed an article from you now.
Yes,
The article in question belongs to me. I demand it to be returned at once.
No, that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you wastrel! And needless to say... Oh, look at me. Look at these sexy moves. Any music box disc, too.
Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. That's more or less what happened. And in the interest of being thorough, I asked Winterbank for a print showing the fellow. There he is, taken from him with his red-handed recorder, Gummins's. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Winterbank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice?
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin? Never seen the geezer before in my life.
On my life, Gov, on my life. Never seen him.
Well, somewhat unsurprisingly, it appears our witnesses disagree with the assertion. Yeah, they're super trustworthy. I'm sure your lordship records my learned Nipponese friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the alleged accomplice. Yes, and I can.
Then show us the evidence.
I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is. Okay, I got it now. I figured it out. Because he cut himself. I forgot that happened because it's been so long. This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom. Let's do this.
Are you ready to present your answer to the court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Prove that the man pictured in this photograph of print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. So it's gotta be the disc, right?
Take that!
Yeah. As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted, deceitfully, admittedly, to reclaim this disc from Winterbanks.
Which is when the aforementioned Edgar Benedict appeared on the scene, I believe. This man then attempted to purloin the article from the defendant's possession, no?
That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred.
But of course, sir. Here is the disc for you. Give it to me, peasant. Very well. Oh yeah. Then I shall bid you farewell. Say goodbye to style.
Wait a minute, that disc is mine.
Yeah! Oh, what do you think you're doing, you little tramp? You've drawn blood, you filthy animal.
There we go. Being a music box disc, it has countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed. And the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now.
Goodness, a blood stain, is it?
My assistant and I have just analyzed the blood stain here in this very courtroom. Using my trusty fogger gun. Yes. And we added the results to this portfolio.
I say.
It's green.
It's exactly the same color as the blood around the calendar.
I'm trying to remember which one is which. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling himself Mr. Edgar Benedict, who was in Winterbanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. You got him.
So there's someone else there?
Look at the two brothers now, they're sweating buckets. Oi, who are you talking about? It's boiling in here. My lord, it is the opinion of the defense that Mr. Egbert Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It would certainly seem that we can ill afford to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
Let's do it. This has gone on long enough now. This flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Come again? Herlock Sholmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes. A god of detection or some such. What are you getting at there? And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona on the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well... Lick my shoes! And pray do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Sholmes' word for it. Is he right? Is Mr. Sholmes connecting a load of rubbish? I don't know. I mean, he's a great detective.
What are you talking about?
No. I didn't read that last part. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Sholmes' invention isn't going to be recognized by any official body. But, what other choice did I have? I'm just remembering what Father Christmas over there said before. Oh, the doctor? He does look like Santa. About how he was temporarily suspending the summation examination. Oh, no, the judge she's talking about. Okay. In other words, the examination isn't over yet, is it?
Good grief! What did you just say, young girl?
And in the summation examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of the 6 jurors, isn't it? That is true. Good job, Iris. So the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Have a cookie.
Young lady, you have quite the devious mind.
It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Nope, you got it, Iris. Unbelievable. Okay, you're my new Maya. Forget Suzuto. I kid. Mr. Sholmes' partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter, hi-ya! After that shrewd preface of the situation from an entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous summation examination had yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd, you idiots. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for the final leanings on this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to a fair and just conclusion. Or to fair and just conclusions. I have faith in you guys. Do the right thing. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty. Not
Yay!
Guilty.
Oh, screw you.
Guilty.
No.
Not guilty.
Ooh, that's, what is that, 4 to 3? 4 to 2? Screw you two. We did it, right? That's all we needed? 2 are called guilty and 4 are called not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision. On what grounds? Because I say so. If these jurors are persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt. It's not how it works, prosecutor. I'm sorry, Lord Van Zyx, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue. Well, it's worth a try. Damn it. Damn it, Hall. Nevertheless, We find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested the subpoena of a new witness. What do we do now? But sadly, I fear that will be impossible. What? Is this all for naught? The name the gentleman gave for himself, Egbert Benedict, is quite clearly false. That is true, we know that. It's A something. What was it, AB? AG? I think it was AG. I don't believe it. Just when I'd managed to prove the man was there that night. Who's talking? Him, after it's him. Could I say something? Is it Gina, maybe? Who was that, please? Who spoke?
Oh, it was me, my lord.
Juror number 5? What have you to say, madam?
If possible, Inspector.
Me, ma'am.
I wonder if you might show the photographic print to me again. The one in which the gentleman is shown.
Ah, right, yes. This one, you mean? Of Mr. Benedict? What did you say?
Yes. There's no doubt in my mind.
Juror number 5. You don't mean to say you know this man?
He's my brother.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, I know him.
What? No. Good gracious.
Ain't that just a quinky-dink?
Order, order, order! Juror number 5, how on earth?
I am a communications officer. Stop.
As we can clearly see. What does that have to do with anything? She's blushing. Was she always blushing when she was doing this?
The gentleman in the photograph is stop. Also a communications officer. Stop. He works in my office. Stop.
Oh, good. Golly gosh.
A very talented operator, in fact. Stop. He should be in the communication station now. Stop. Tapping away on the telegraph. Stop.
This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose you all imagine the accomplice would be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he was respectable job by day, whatever he gets up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong. I feel there's more to it. If the gentleman is at London Communication Station, we shall be able to subpoena him within the hour. Lord Van Sykes, if you please. Yes, my lord. Whatever. Make the necessary arrangements with all haste. As your lordship bids. The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson? Yes, my lord? I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbrokery on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess. Yes, sir, my lord. Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Okay. Are we getting our to be continued? There we go. Ooh, boy. Things are heating up. I feel like I always say that, but that's why we're going to a to be continued. So we made it to another to be continued. The trial is still going. We're about to enter part 3. At this point, I'm just glad I didn't get stumped again. Made some blunders, but what is new? If you've been watching this Let's Play, I made quite a few of them, but I come to the right conclusions in the end. Eventually. I forgot about Edgar Benedict cutting himself. I was thinking because Gregson took the evidence, took the disc as evidence, and then and that was before the shooting, and then after but yeah, that makes perfect sense. That's how we knew that he was there. So now we're gonna get him on the stand. We haven't seen him for a while since that initial, which is why I forgot that initial part or whatever, part 1 or 2 of the the case. And obviously I knew he'd come back. And I'm fairly certain he has ties to Magnus McGilded. So I think with him coming, now we might get to the part that connects this case to 3. Because we know it's going to happen because we have, we have that book Suzuto gave us, that's, her notes on what happened, back then in the 3rd case, like a reminder. And of course we're going to use that as evidence, I'm sure. And we have other things that connect it back to that case, obviously, like Mr. Mason's blood on that ticket, stuff like that. So we know that we're going to get there eventually, right? There's going to be some connection to that case. And now with Edgar Benedict coming in, which I'm pretty sure he has a connection to McGill did, we might be getting there soon. I hope, anyway. So like I said, I don't know if this is just going to be a giant trial and we're going to get, all this is going to go down in this big trial and then, until we get to the end of the game, or if there's going to be any more investigations, maybe another investigation, another trial. I don't know. I don't know how long this is going to go on for, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it immensely, especially for a last case. It just needs to stick the landing. I'm sure, hit us with some twists. But I'm enjoying it so far immensely, and I can't wait to see what Mr. Benedict has to tell us. So, thank you guys so much for watching. As always, go ahead and like the video, hit that subscribe button, as it would really help me out. Hit the notification bell so you know when more of these videos go up. Share the video, of course, and the channel. I'd really appreciate that. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time. So take care, and bye-bye.